Hello, this is Pastor Rick, and I want to welcome you to the Lectionary Bible study for this upcoming week, this upcoming Sunday, April the 7th. Now, Bishop Suarez will be preaching this Sunday, and I don't know which text he's going to select, but I'm going to use the Lectionary Bible study to challenge you this week to prepare for these wonderful resurrection events, these stories where the early apostles see the resurrected Jesus. And so my challenge to you is to read in John's Gospel, chapters 20 and 21. That's where we have this cluster of resurrection appearances. Now, yes, you could go to Luke 24 and read some of the other appearances, like the road to Emmaus, but that's a challenge for another day. Here we want to take a look at John's Gospel, these two chapters, and a lot of our Sunday Gospel readings will be from these two chapters. In fact, we're going to hear about doubting Thomas and Jesus' appearance to the disciples in the upcoming weeks. So here's what you're going to hear in John chapter 20 and 21. Jesus appears to Mary Magdalene. Remember, in the garden, she shows up at the tomb, and then Peter comes. He does not believe her witness, as you remember, and then Jesus encounters Mary Magdalene again in the garden. She thinks he's the gardener, and they have this wonderful conversation together. We have also Jesus appearing to the disciples in that locked room. They're all scared. They're nervous. They don't know what has happened to Jesus, their leader. He walks through the door, and he appears and says, "Peace be with you." Of course, that's always funny. You know, they were probably still frightened to death, right? You could have warned us, right? Instead of sneaking out of the bushes. We also then have doubting Thomas, because he wasn't in that room. And so the next story is that he comes back, meets the disciples. They all say, "We've seen Jesus." And he says, "Unless I see with my own eyes and touch with my own hands, I'm not going to believe that he is raised from the dead." Another story is then Jesus goes up to the Sea of Galilee. They're all out on a boat, and then randomly he challenges them to cast their nets on the other side of the boat. They catch fish. It's a miracle, and they know it's Jesus. Peter jumps out of the boat and then swims to shore, and one of my favorite accounts is then Jesus is then frying up the fish there on the Sea of Galilee. So I've always thought, isn't that great that the resurrected Jesus can still eat and still likes fried fish? Then finally, you do have this last account in chapter 21 where the resurrected Jesus confronts Peter. Asks him 3 times, "Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me?" And it also mentions John, the disciple that Jesus loved, and there's the implication that he will not die. He'll be the only disciple not to die. That's mentioned right at the end of the gospel. So you can see this is a powerful cluster of resurrection appearances in John 20 and 21. So I want to challenge you sometime this week to read both chapters, and that will prepare you for the upcoming Sundays through the whole Easter season. May God bless you as you read these wonderful stories of the resurrected Jesus. Thanks for joining us on the Lectionary Bible Study. Bye-bye now.